Okay, hi everyone. My name is John Haddad. I am currently the business manager for the Client Business Systems and User Support Group. We kind of oversee all the different service channels within Legal Aid. Um, I have been with Legal Aid a short 31 years, and I was brought on the Client Portal project, which I'll be discussing with you guys today, just kind of walking you through um, all the features it has and how to onboard a brand new client. So with that, I'll just pass it over to Kate.
Thanks, John. My name is Kate. I'm a business advisor with the Regional Services Division. We oversee the Duty Counsel program and direct client service, which includes various senior counsel offices, summary legal advice, and our local in-person spaces known as district offices. I'm joined by my colleague, Lori, who I'll throw it over to next.
Good afternoon. I'm Lori Gardner. I'm a lawyer and manager of the Family Law Service Centers in Chatham, Windsor, and Sarnia. And so I've been with Legal Aid for about 5 years and looking forward to presenting our services or what we've got available in these areas in terms of the Family Law Service Center. So I guess I can hand it over to my colleague here, legal aid worker in Chatham.
So my name is Renee Tulloch. I am a legal aid worker with Legal Aid Ontario. I work out of the Chatham Family Law Service Center. Yeah, pass it over to Catherine.
Hi, I'm a staff lawyer with Legal Aid Ontario in the same department as Jacqueline, which is the client operations and client experience. And let's see, I'm from Hamilton, been with Legal Aid 20 years plus, climbing up a little bit there. And my areas of law are criminal, consent and capacity, family, and immigration, and some bit of prison law on the side. And let's see, Chantal, I think it's your turn.
Awesome, thank you. Hi, so I'm Chantal Aziz, and I've been with Legal Aid 10 years. I am a team manager at the Client Service Center at the Contact Center, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today, the Contact Center as well as chat. I'm in the GTA, yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Chantal. I guess I'll pass it over to Stacy.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Stacy Huxtable. I'm part of the External Relations Department, so I'll close off and give you our contact information if you have any questions at the end. But welcome. I'm based out of Sarnia, and I'm a family lawyer by trade, but I'm now with the External Relations Department. Thanks. Welcome.
Thanks, Stacey. I'm Jacqueline Cutler. I'm the business advisor for Central Operations and Client Experience. My role is responsible for planning and supporting the LEO certificate program. I am involved in assessing and improving business processes, particularly related to the client intake, as well as advancing client digital experience strategy at Legal Aid Ontario. So welcome. We do have Catherine available that will be monitoring the chat. So if there are any questions that come up as we go, feel free to put them in the chat. And we have Maria paying close attention to the time to make sure that we don't go over the time we have with you today. We will have a recording of this presentation available for those that weren't able to attend today. I would like to start off the session with a land acknowledgement. So we acknowledge the sacred land upon which we're privileged to work and live. We recognize the deep connection and the long-standing relationship between Indigenous peoples and the land of Southwest Ontario. We acknowledge that through the use of treaties, not always fairly, some land was stolen outright and many Indigenous people were killed due to the arrival of European settlers. First Nation cultures, language, and traditions were also decimated as a result of the actions of the new settlers. Today, this land is still home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. This land has supported human beings for at least the past 10,000 years. Ontario's Southwest is on the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, Huron-Wendat, Adawandaron, and Lenape, Ojibwe, Chippewa, and Wendat Indigenous people. This territory was covered by the Upper Canada, or is covered by the Upper Canada treaties. And the West District recognized that its work and the work of its community partners take place in traditional Indigenous territories across the district. We are thankful to be able to work and live in these territories. So I'm just going to move on to our objective. So the main objective for running these sessions is to help you better able to support clients when they apply for legal aid. We will do this by going over the key features of all of the LAO centralized intake channels. And today's focus is on helping to ensure that you're aware of the different access channels, especially some of our newer service channels and options available for more at-risk or vulnerable clients. And our purpose today is to provide you with up-to-date information so that we may assist you with serving your clients. And we believe after this session, you will better understand what happens when you refer clients to our services. I'm just going to start off with talking a little bit about the certificate program. So the LAO, or the legal aid certificate, is a document that we provide our clients that confirms that we will pay for their legal aid lawyer. So we do have a full roster of lawyers within the community that accept legal aid. The client can then bring this document to that legal aid lawyer of their choosing to receive the help that they need. There are 5 key areas of law that are covered under the certificate program. So we do have coverage for defense of criminal charges where there is a risk of incarceration if convicted. We do offer assistance for appeal of conviction and sentence. We also have coverage for family law matters, child protection, refugee and immigration, including basis of claim, refugee hearings, humanitarian and compassionate grounds applications, and judicial review of decisions, as well as mental health law. That includes the Ontario Review Board hearings, consent and capacity hearings, and we also offer coverage for prison law matters. So the major channels that we'll be talking to today, and these are our primary access channels. And so within each access channel, there are various client service options available. So the first one is our contact center. So this is our most commonly known access point. And then the newest access channel that we'll be talking about today is our live chat. So certificate applications are not processed through this channel as of today. However, our chat agents can provide basic information for individuals to help them understand legal aid services, including the certificate program. And then we have our client portal, and this is our online self-service option. Legal Aid is committed to continually enhancing and expanding this service channel, and we will be providing a demo of this channel during this session, just to highlight some of the various functions that are available beyond the online application. And then we have our assisted application, and these are forms that lawyers and select service providers can email Legal Aid to facilitate a certificate application on behalf of their client. So we will speak about each channel and who is best suited to using these channels as we progress through our presentation today. So I'm just going to pass it over to Chantal.
Thanks, Jackie. Okay, so we're going to start with the contact center, and the contact center offers services over the phone. Service is available Monday to Friday during regular business hours from 8 to 5 p.m. It's best suited for those who prefer to speak to someone live. And a great feature of the contact center is that a real-time interpretation service is available for those whose first language is not English or French. At the initial point of contact, the service channel screens out those not suitable for LAO services. It also provides referral services for services within LAO, including the summary legal advice callback service for family and criminal matters. It provides referrals to community legal clinics and also to external services as well. The contact center processes certificate applications for all matters within LAO coverage areas. Most clients will receive a decision on eligibility within the same day. We also provide full support for immediate and long-term client needs, including requests for review of certificate application decisions and change of lawyer applications. The contact center has a dedicated phone service for clients who are currently in custody, and wait times are significantly reduced on this dedicated line, as in custody clients have a limited amount of time on the phone. The contact center also includes a lawyer advice service, which is available 9 to 5 for emergency family law needs. So for example, clients who are experiencing domestic violence and have a limited call window where safety is a concern. Or for example, situations where the Children's Aid Society is involved and has notified a client that they're removing a child to a place of safety. We also provide service for clients calling from a jurisdiction outside of Ontario who are seeking advice about an Ontario family law matter. The live advice queue can assist clients who are calling with a support person due to mental health challenges, or finding it difficult to coordinate callbacks. Maybe they're unhoused, or they're inpatients at hospital, or have to use the phone of a service provider. So the contact center is the most comprehensive service channel. Just keep in mind that this service is restricted to regular business hours, which may not work for everybody. And I'm just going to pause to see if there are any questions with regards to the contact center.
Nothing in the chats for you, Chantal.
Awesome. Okay, then I guess I'll move on to chat. So chat is the newest access point to the organization, and we will be approximately 2 years old this June. Chat is available on all 300 plus pages of the LAO website. Currently, chat is available 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And the average wait time to chat with a specialist is about 16 seconds. We receive on average 64 chats per day, and the total chats from January to April alone has been about 5,300 chats. Chat is available in both English and French. A live agent is available to respond to general inquiries on the external website. Live chat agents do not ask any personal or case-related information during the chat session. Clients have the ability to print or email themselves a copy of the chat transcript, as well as provide feedback about their experience at the end of their interaction. So feel free to promote the chat feature on the website for clients that have any general questions about LAO services. Although this channel offers chat support, its services are limited to just information only, and it may require another channel to progress through matters. So as a result, it may not be suitable for all. And any questions at all about chat? Okay, all right, thank you. I'm just going to pass it over to John.
Thanks, Chantal.
Thank you. So I'm just going to be talking about the client portal. Our client portal, the initial launch was back in 2018. When we went live back then, it was a very limited scope and functionality. Essentially, we are giving clients the opportunity to provide us their email address that then triggered an option to have access to their portal, which really only gave them very limited scope of receiving documents and being able to sign electronically what we call our consent and declaration document. But as of May 17, 2021, we expanded the functionality considerably, where now you have 24/7 access to make an application via the portal. You can update your information that Legal Aid currently has, ability to upload documents, check the status of your application. And we also have access to tools such as finding a lawyer across the province for your specific type of legal matter. So today I'm just going to walk you through. So I just, Zoom is a little bit different than thank you. Here we go. Just confirm for me that, okay, I can see that. I think we're sharing it okay. So this is our client portal login page. So all of our clients kind of fit into three categories. First category being they're currently within our home system. If you call the call center, we utilize a PeopleSoft tool, PeopleSoft platform. So if you reside within the PeopleSoft platform and have created a portal account, you have the ability to obviously just come to our homepage, enter your user ID, which can be either your client number with Legal Aid or your email address, enter your secure password, click sign in, and you're in. The other two groups are you're in our PeopleSoft program, but yet to create a profile, or you're brand new to Legal Aid. Those two last options would come via this route. So you click get started here. In today's demonstration, I'm going to be mimicking an individual with no Legal Aid history. So once that's selected, this is giving the individual an understanding of what is available via the client portal. So because I'm brand new, my opportunity is to apply online. If I have a family law matter, children's aid matter, criminal or refugee/immigration case, I can't own property, I must receive Ontario Works or ODSP, or I have no source of income as I'm brand new to Canada. I have no income, and I'm currently living in a shelter. And lastly, no income, I'm currently in custody. Now, I just want to ensure everyone that you're still eligible to apply for legal aid if you do own property. Is just the client portal has a limited scope at this time. We're looking to expand it to mimic exactly the same type of coverage you could get via the phone. But as it is right now, we're just helping with clearly eligible situations at this time. So client fits these parameters, they can click continue. And apologize, if there's any questions at any time, please just, whether it's in the chat or come off mute and let me know, and that would be great. So, of course, the portal is completely bilingual, so we can go via English or French. I'll select English. And our first set of questions, this whole section is what we call pre-screening. We're getting information from the individual prior to getting their profile, their name, date of birth, address. So we're trying to assess, is this avenue applicable for them? Are they eligible to apply via the portal? We didn't want them to do a whole onboarding process and then find out very quickly that they're not eligible, and we absorbed a lot of their time and effort. So we're doing it in this methodology where they answer some questions, and then we determine, yes, you look like you're likely, you'll be able to be served in this manner, and we'll continue this way. So this is what we call pre-screening. Have I applied before? I have not. If I had applied, like I was saying, the second group of people, they're in PeopleSoft, but yet in the portal, I would say yes to this. My next question is provide your client number. There's some validation, give us your address, your name, and we link back to our system to ensure this is in fact the same person, and then they would be able to continue on. But right now, this is a brand new individual. Because I'm brand new, my only opportunity at this time is to make a new application. The opportunity to change my profile information, upload documents, check status of my application isn't applicable yet because I'm brand new. There's no history with Legal Aid at this time. So to continue on with the portal, they can only be served making a new application. If they had questions and they selected other, that would provide a pop-up message informing them to contact the call center with the call center information and time of operation. But for us, we're going to say make a new application. Do we live in Ontario? Yes. Source of income. So again, this is just the ones that are available to continue down this path. So if it's Ontario Works or ODSP, if it's a youth, living with a parent or caregiver, if that's selected, we have a follow-up questions to ensure the parent or caregiver that is supporting this youth, they're in fact in receipt of OW, ODSP, or have no income. So that's just, that linkage remains intact. If it's other, so if it's your working part-time, full-time, WSIB, EI, any other revenue stream at this time, they would be directed to call the contact center. This is changing. We're building the ability to allow any income source to apply and expand also what type of legal matters we can accommodate via the client portal. But for our demonstration, I'm just going to select Ontario Works.
John, it's Catherine. I'm just going to mention that you have
Please.
a comment that Jody mentions that it'd be helpful if there were other languages available, such as Spanish, Punjabi, or Ukrainian seems to be the popular languages for her.
Absolutely, totally agree. We have worked with our language services at Legal Aid. We're looking, it's not as, we tried to do this beforehand. We have a list of our 10 most popular. Those 3 are on our top 10. It's something that we're looking to do. Google Translate, we've tried testing it to see if it would translate the live pages as well. So yes, it's a great point, and it's something we're definitely looking to achieve. We're always updating this platform, so including different languages absolutely is at the top of our list. That's a great point, thank you. So my income source is Ontario Works. They're just asking if I own any real estate. I'm saying no. Legal matter in Ontario, yes. Again, if I said no, they would direct me to contact the call center because we definitely support matters outside the province in certain circumstances. So what type of legal case do you have? So we're supporting criminal, family, children's aid, refugee, and immigration. If it's other, if it was landlord and tenant matter, if it was a tribunal hearing, that again would direct them to call the contact center. Does anybody have something that resonates with them more, what they would like to see, the path of questions, whether it's criminal, family, children's aid, or immigration? If you want to put it in the chat or let me know, that would be great. Or I could just pick one at random, whatever works.
No offers in the chat yet, John.
No offers yet?
Family's
Family?
first one.
Okay.
No competition so far, but family's the first one in.
Okay, so let's go with
2 for family.
2. Okay, we're going family. Perfect, thank you. So we're going to select next for family. So we have starting or responding to a family court case, changing a family court case, or other. So we did our level best to try and make legal terminology accessible to as many clients as we can, meaning we really had a hard exercise with plain language to ensure comprehension was reached to as many people as possible. And we all know that sometimes coming off of legal terminology, it's hard to get an accurate translation to it without losing some of the meaning behind it. But that's why, this isn't saying variation order, for example, for changing a family court order. We're just trying to make it, again, accessible as possible. So I'm going to select starting or responding to a family court case. So any family law application, the first set of questions is around violence. These are 3 questions that we ask all of our clients. Of course, they have the opportunity to indicate that they do not wish to answer, and that does not impact negatively their eligibility. It's just a question that we want to understand what services we need to provide to best service them and have their lawyer have their accurate coverage to pursue their matters. So does the other party cause you to fear for your safety or safety for your children? I'm just going to say yes in this example. Have you or children ever experienced any physical violence by the other party? Yes. And lastly, we can see that last one. I'm just going to say yes to that as well. And select next. Do you have a final court order involving the same person? You'll notice some question marks at the end, that's just our help text. So if you hover over, that's just giving them hopefully a little bit more information to clarify what that question could be involving. So I'm going to say we do not have a final court order. What type of family law issues do you need help with? I apologize, our test environment, which I'm in, the help text is there in our live environment, but this is not there to outline all of this terminology, what that means in plain language. So for this example, I'm just going to select custody access and a restraining order. Anything that's being selected here has implications to the coverage the client would be eligible for. So if it's custody access, it could get this many hours, restraining order, different coverage wordings and authorizations that are built into our legal aid certificate. So all of these are drivers to ensure, again, the client is getting the appropriate coverage. Do you or the other party agree on family law issues? We do not. Do you think you can communicate and come to an agreement? That is not possible, so say no. Select next. So now we have completed pre-screening questions. With any legal aid application, there's kind of two distinct criteria. There's a legal criteria and a financial criteria. So far we've definitely met the legal threshold and some of the financial as well. So now the client is given the opportunity to review all the pre-screening questions. And as they review, if they realize, oh, sorry, this one is actually a no, they have the opportunity to click back and they can change their response. Depending on the response that they change could impact the subsequent questions. It's a decision tree in the background that, your answer is drives the next question. So sometimes there's no impact, sometimes it could completely alter everything that's following after it. In this example, everything is okay, so I'll select next. Now I'm just going to create the profile for the client to give them an opportunity to apply. And the date of birth. So if the client enters their mobile phone and hits this checkbox, this gives them the ability to receive their two-factor authentication, a 4-digit PIN in the future via their phone, through text, or they can receive it through email. That's what this is providing here. And I just wanted to mention that the postal code in the client portal is a mandatory field. We all know some of our clients have no fixed address, therefore they don't have a postal code readily available. But with the portal, we need the postal code. So we would recommend that the client utilize any address that they can safely receive documentation. If legally they need to send anything to them, that's the address and postal code we need. Every postal code in the province is mapped to one of our area offices. That's why it's also critical for us to have it. And if the client put one that is correct in formatting, but not actually a valid one, we'll default the location within our system. It's not impacting the client negatively at all, just to our Toronto location. So it's not a hardship in any means, but it's just a nuance of the system. Okay, so since we've done that piece there, hopefully momentarily I can see it just pop up. Let's go to my inbox and we can see this is the email confirmation process. So they would review the consent to their email and they would click confirm here. A new page displays. Again, just thank you for confirming my email. And they just have to hit this second button. This event now has triggered a subsequent event. It's just hopefully come through where it's a portal invitation email. This has now generated a new client number for the client. The fact that I received a client number here is because my email address is recognized by the system. It's all over it. If it was a net new email address, they would have their login as their email, which is a lot easier to remember than a CLT number from legal aid. So if your clients are brand new and have an email address that is not recognized by legal aid, it will say, great, here it is, and it will produce the login as their email address. But for me, it's the CLT number here that was newly created. So I just click back to our sign-in page. I'll just paste in the CLT number that was just given to me. I'll double back and grab the temporary password. Go back to the sign-in page and paste it in and click sign in. As I sign in, just like it will happen every subsequent time, this is two-factor authentication because I've provided a valid email address and indicated my phone and willing to receive a text. I have either option. I'm just going to select email since we can all watch the process happen. So I just again go back to my inbox without opening, and I can just see here 4152 is the new 4-digit code to proceed.
John, just so you know, in this
Yes.
environment, your emails don't show up the same way we have seen them in the past. So you just continuing to describe your inbox and what it's coming into you is clear, but we can't see those pickups from your inbox.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks, Catherine. I have no explanation for that. I apologize. It's not displaying. It might be a Zoom thing opposed to a Teams.
Probably a Zoom protection for privacy, likely.
Right. Thank you. So now we've got over the first hurdle of the first authentication. Now, because I'm brand new, this is a one-time event of seeing the terms and conditions to access the client portal. Of course, I'd read it diligently, very carefully. But for this example, I'm just going to scroll quickly down to the bottom and click accept. Then we come to another one-time event. This is a page that will only display this one time. Just asking for the client to re-enter their date of birth. I know they just did it minutes ago, but it's a necessary evil at this time to do it again. It's a part of our validation process. And this is somewhere people get hung up. They think they should be entering the code they just received. In fact, they need to ask for a second code to be sent to them. Again, this page will never display again. It's just this first time to ensure the onboarding process is working. Since you won't see my email as I talk about it, I'm just going to grab it quickly. 7933 is what's displaying, and enter it here. Click submit. That's great. So we've got over that hurdle. Now, the current password is the password that appeared in my portal invitation. Now I'm going to select a secure password that's meaningful to me. Of course, we have all these, parameters around it: one uppercase, one numerical value, and a special character. So I'm just going to hopefully type in the password similarly to the first one. We have a password recovery feature. We have these 5 options. We're going to be expanding those shortly. Click submit. And now the client has successfully created a new email secure login for themselves. Now we're continuing on the application. This is a profile section, so we're capturing some information. We have information here to help explain where this is coming from, why we're asking. Client would check what was appropriate for themselves. Immigration status. All of these values are one-to-one representations to what's in our primary system, PeopleSoft. So the client would pick whatever is appropriate for them. Select next. So we have our first question of this is an Aboriginal self-identifying question. So if the client indicates that they self-identify as Aboriginal, they would say yes. follow-up questions. If yes, do they identify as First Nation, Inuit, or Métis, or if their Aboriginal status falls outside of those three groups? They have the opportunity to select other. In my example, I'm going to select First Nation, just to illustrate the follow-up questions. So we are asking status or non-status. I'll say status, and then on reserve, off reserve. Someone mentioned in the last demo, it looks like you're just asking for one response out of these four. And I just want to show, if I did not select on reserve or off reserve, we're being prompted to provide a response. So we'll select next, and our next question is our race-based question. Again, we're giving the client some information surrounding why we're asking these questions. So you can see all the different opportunities there are to respond. Of course, there's an opportunity to say, I don't know, and they prefer not to answer. In other, I identified myself as Aboriginal earlier, so I'm just going to follow that and click there. If there's any other identities I want to note, I had the opportunity to do so now as well. I'll select next to continue. Now we're just into the financial set of questions. Again, you'll notice the question mark at the end. This is just helping the client get clarity around some of our values. So here, what is your living situation? We have whichever one's applicable to them. I'll select renter in this example. Family size, again, we'll just have that opportunity to get clarity around that. They can either type that response directly into the field or use the directional arrows on the side to get their correct family size. Do you have any liquid assets? This is Legal Aid's definition of a liquid asset. Sorry about that. Can you quickly see there? So they can type that in. Is anyone helping you complete the application? This means that someone is assisting you with your completing the application in your presence. So the client is with this individual. So I'm just going to say yes, just to show you, illustrate what displays. So please select from the list. Here's our list. We have received some recommendations to expand this list, which we're already talked about our team with. So we have those noted. If there's anything you feel that is missing, whether you see that today or subsequent days, if you're helping a client, please reach out and let us know that we can, it's important to us that we capture the rights designation for everybody who's assisting their clients. So I can just select relative just for phone number and email address. Because I noted that I was receiving social assistance, I was receiving Ontario Works, the client is asked to either provide their membership ID from their check stub, which they would find, here's a representation of it, the member ID there, or they can upload an image of their most recent check stub is the ideal. If it's a month out, that shouldn't be a problem. But for our example, I'm just going to put in, because I'm in a test environment, I can put an invalid number. And we're getting closer to completion. We should be getting a lawyer page displaying momentarily. And here it is. So do you have a lawyer? So if I were to indicate, no, I don't have a lawyer yet, we're giving you a link to help find a lawyer. So this tool gives you a proximity search to either your town, your address, your postal code, to, in this example, a family law lawyer within a certain catchment area, whether it's 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, whatever is, and it can expand it to 100 kilometers in your area to help find a lawyer. If you say you do in fact have a lawyer, we'll follow up with a question: have you paid your money? Sorry, have you paid your lawyer any money? Yeah, to that, of course, the next question change to how much have you paid? Now, if you exceeded our threshold, we'd still allow you to submit the account. It would just, opposed to being considered for automation, it would go to one of our staff work lists for one of our staff members to determine the eligibility of the client. So if they put 5,000, for example, that would be enough to take it outside of our threshold for automation. And someone would have to make a determination if this client is still eligible, if they paid their lawyer that much money. It's rare that ever happens. It happens, but it's super rare. And lastly, here, what is the name of your lawyer? So if I click the link and do a second time because of test, this is reflective of all the family law lawyers across the province able to accept Legal Aid Ontario certificates. So there are countless lawyers here in the family law panel, in the family law roster. I'm selecting one here completely at random. This, once it's selected, it will display the lawyer's phone number. This is odd that they don't have their postal code. Oh, sorry, not their postal code, their area code. I'll have to check into this. Their address. We even provided Google Maps just to ensure the client is in fact picking the right Andrew Bala. That's the one that they wanted to pick in case there happens to be more than one. We're also giving them instructions just to be as sure as possible picking their lawyer. Changing the lawyer is actually an application process unto itself, and it needs exceptional circumstances that will approve the changing of a solicitor. So just letting the clients know that's a scenario. Select next, and we're right at the last page now.
John, just before you go on to the last page, a question has come in. If the service user's unable to provide OW or ODSP number or unable to upload the document, are they able to continue the online application?
That's a great question. It's a mandatory field that you will not be able to advance past. And right now, because you're brand new, even though we've gotten this far, it's a great question. If you stopped, let's say you're at court and you're helping the client and you're going through it and they're like, oh no, my check stub's at home, I don't have this information. They can halt it, come back in, log back in, and I'll show you shortly where they'll be able to come back to their legal aid applications tab, go into the history tab, and they'll be able to complete that application within a 7-day window. But they will not be able to continue to where I am now without uploading it. They would have to stop, and when they come back to it, provide that information. It's a stopping point. Hopefully that answers that question. So I'll just continue here. This is our declaration document. Again, the client would read this carefully. For our demonstration, I'm just going to go down quickly and select accept and click OK. So now they receive the message that an email confirmation has been sent to my email. You can check the status of your application. So I'm going to click OK, and now this is the opportunity I can show you where that would land if we stopped that process. Because we're back here now, we've completed the application. I'll just kind of walk you through the functionality of the actual portal, all the different opportunities there are. So my documents, this is where anything Legal Aid sends the client from this point forward will land here. So when they open up the portal account, actually they'll get a message. You have 2 documents waiting for you. They click OK, they'll be taken right to this place here. And there would be links there for them to access. But this was production. 7 p.m. tonight, our batch runs, and there would be a document waiting for me indicating my confirmation of legal aid eligibility there. The history tab, this is once you view the document, it automatically transfers over into the history tab, and you'll be able to access it indefinitely at this point. We don't have an archiving policy at this time right now, but you can see here we received it at 2:46 and I actually signed it at 2:48. Excuse me. So that would be there. Next tab here is our legal aid applications. Of course, if I wanted to start something new, I'd start a new application. You could click here and I could, if I have another family law matter, I could do it. Immigration, criminal, CYFSA, that's available to them. The history tab is where they would pick up any application that's done part way. Active cases, this is providing information. This is a status check page, so we can see now my application has been in fact approved, it's been automated approved. So I was going to show you my email, the email that they received, but you're not going to see it. So I did receive an email. It gave the client number, the certificate number. Because I named a lawyer, as you can see here, that lawyer also was informed in real time that a new certificate is awaiting them. So Andrew would know, oh, family law certificate has been issued. I think my client is named John as well. So I know I can now start representing John. I have my coverage in place. The lawyer just can't start billing until tomorrow, but they know they're covered. They can acknowledge it right now. We've definitely seen clients create a profile, complete an application, certificate issued, lawyer acknowledged, all within a finite, within minutes of each other, which is great. So the client immediately gets the assistance that they need. So that's the active cases. Again, if anything were to change, the status of my application was then subsequently canceled for whatever reason, that status would be changed here as well. They would see it in real time. My file upload, this is giving the client the ability, opposed to faxing or mailing, any documents that legal aid were to ask of them or they wanted to provide us, they would just come to this tab, select the appropriate document type. I want to provide you my bank account. I was asked for it. I need it. I would select finance. Oh, you want to know? You want information about my family law matter? You want some court papers? They would select legal. Type, court matter. Attach their documents, and it would route to one of our staff members' work list, and they would action that appropriately. And the last one there was eligibility review. That's if I was declined legal aid or my application was canceled. This is giving the client the opportunity to provide rationale why legal aid should exercise the review opportunity to see if the client is in fact eligible with this new information that they're providing. My profile section, this is giving the client the opportunity, opposed to calling us, to change their immigration status. They can change, it can change their preferred language, their address, postal code or phone, and email. I just have to do a separate step to do the email, but the three parts that it cannot change currently is first name, last name, and date of birth. Those fields have big impacts throughout our database, and right now we're not able to allow them to change that at this time. That's being reconsidered, and hopefully we'll be able to give them that opportunity, because we never overwrite any of our information. So if I were to change my address right now, I would never lose 111 Main Street. That would just go to a secondary. The history would be retained, and whatever the client indicated as their new address would now become primary, and that's where any documentation would be sent to them. And if I wanted to change my email, I just have to come back here because I didn't make any changes there. I would select change emails, this link to itself, and then it's a whole validation process that takes place that we already walked through. And sorry, lastly, here's our resources tab. This is our find a lawyer tool. Again, you can find lawyers that could help with the client's needs. Client satisfaction survey to provide feedback for us. FAQs around the portal, and a LEO glossary for any terms. references that might need clarity. And of course, the language, the opportunity to switch from English to French or French to English at any time. And that is a very quick walkthrough through the client portal. So if there's anything I can revisit or answer any questions, happy to do so. Just let me know. And if not, I will be handing it over to Catherine.
So just give it a couple of seconds and see if anything's
Sure.
going to come through on chat, John, or if anyone comes off mute.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go on then and explain our assisted applications process. This channel offers select internal and external service providers the ability to submit a form that they fill in with the applicant who's seeking their initial application for a legal aid certificate. The channel is available using a form that's pre-populated in English or French. And one of the advantages is that if the service provider has alternative business hours than what we would call regular business hours or our call center hours, then the service provider may be able to help at other times. Also, if the service provider has an ability to speak a different language and then translate that into the English or the French form, they can assist the applicant that way. We receive about 550 of these applications per month. The provider's assistance is helpful for most of our LAO's vulnerable clients. These applications are processed by LAO staff through the information received on the forms, and they're submitted to a centralized email box. So slightly higher tech than pen and paper, but not quite as high tech as the client portal. The processing can take anywhere from 3 to 5 business days, although the staff are very up to date and are processing them in a lot less time than that now. Eligibility is determined at first instance as these forms are reviewed by the staff. The lawyers and other select service providers are using assisted application forms for those who do not speak or read English or French, and those that have low literacy skills. Also, they may live in communities or work or be involved in institutions without access to a phone or an internet, or they may be people who just have difficulty in traveling to our offices, courts, or clinics. Also, these forms are helpful for those that do not have access to the technology, such as the client portal, or that they may be hesitant to use a phone service for any reason. Also, they've been found to be very helpful for any youth who are trying to apply for a Section 25 application. Like the portal, this service is available for those who are fixed incomes, OW, ODSP, no income, or new to Canada with no income. Coverage is available for criminal matters, child protection matters, family law where the domestic violence has been declared, and/or immigration and refugee matters. The option is still fairly new and limited to those that are approved stakeholders who receive some training on how to use the forms and the kind of information that helps to make these forms successful. Currently, our roster lawyers use it, our LAO duty counsel uses it, our senior counsel use it, as well as our Bridges Duty Council, which is the 24/7 criminal service that is offered. Also, the public guardian and trustee uses these forms, and some select mental health providers. Also, there are a couple of Indigenous friendship centers in the north that are using these forms in Thunder Bay and Keewatin. These are the forms that can be used. And if you have any questions, I can't see the chat at the moment. So if anyone else is looking at the chat, they can let me know. And if not, I'm going to pass it on to Renee and Lori, who are going to talk to you about local in-person services.
Thank you. So the in-person local services, Legal Aid Ontario prioritizes individual vulnerabilities and is committed to ensuring our services are easily available to these specialized groups. We recognize that most vulnerable are at risk if they face challenges that prevent them from accessing our services through the phone, website, or lawyers. For this reason, while not the primary access channel, in-person assistance remains available when required. An individual in need of help at a local office or in court will always be served, be it to get help connecting to services or help with a specific case. Local staff are attuned to the client needs and respond promptly, taking a hands-on approach to work with judicial partners to expedite service where possible. Staff are available in local courts and the Family Law Service Center's offices to provide in-person assistance, connecting people to services when necessary. In-person access channels are available for those who have various challenges that make accessing legal aid services through the major channels very difficult or impossible. Family Law Service Centers are unique in that, in addition to in-court duty counsel services, they provide enhanced duty counsel services, and the lawyers at the Family Law Service Centers are in the position to take on legal aid certificates. So we'll often deal with urgent matters, we'll help drafting. This is in addition to the duty counsel. We have much more substantive services. So you'll see in the slide that I've listed our emails for the Family Law Service Centers in my area, which is in Sarnia, Chatham, and Windsor. And I've also included a link so that if you're looking for duty counsel in these areas or anywhere in the West, you can go on to that link and it'll help you find the closest contact that you need to make. I also wanted to indicate that we have a direct service line to the women's shelter in Sarnia, Chatham, and Windsor. I'm based in Sarnia, so I'm very familiar with the Sarnia Women's Shelter. And we have dedicated one day every 2 weeks to make appointments for anybody that comes through the Women's Interval Home in Sarnia. And those are not income tested. They're just people who have experienced domestic violence or other issues. They can make an appointment directly. If there is an urgent case that comes to us, we will then, obviously we don't want to make someone wait 2 weeks. So we'll make priority and have those people scheduled in sooner rather than later. It's a bit different in Chatham and Windsor. I'm going to get Renee to speak to those. She's familiar. She's here in Chatham, and she is also familiar with Windsor as well. So I'll pass that along to Renee.
Thank you, Lori. So in Chatham and Windsor, we do have those direct contact with our local shelters. It's Hiatus House in Windsor and the Chatham-Kent Women's Center in Chatham. So what we do is we have dedicated staff who will take their name, date of birth. They do income testing, but we don't typically consider that. They indicate whether or not there is an immediate safety concern, or if there is domestic violence that has been disclosed, but there's not an immediate concern for safety. We take that information, we do our conflict checks, and then we schedule them in our regular appointment slots or in an urgent slot if required. We also will, if there are clients of the shelters who say have not been approved for a certificate, we do have a process where we can escalate it if we find there may be a reason to take a different look at their financial information. We try to offer in-person appointments or over the phone appointments. And we also allow, if they do want to be supported by a staff member at the Chatham-Kent Women's Center, we do have that option available for them as well, where we will work with the client as well as the Women's Center to see if we can find an appointment time that works for all parties.
I should also clarify, in terms of income testing, we don't do income testing initially when we make the appointment, but any services we would then need to look at income testing beyond that to see what services we can provide and where we can make those services available. So I'll, I guess, pass that back to Jackie.
Thanks, Renee and Lori. That was really helpful. I'm just going to close it off, but I'll just want to thank everyone for joining the session today. I'm just going to pass it over to Stacy and she'll close it off.
Yes, thanks. So yes, we just want to thank everyone for joining, and our external relations general email is there. So please feel free if you have any follow-up questions or comments to reach out to us on that email, and I will personally make sure you get a response. So thank you for your time today.